trunks, they ever ready. Assault and battery, if you scared, you never ready.
Okay, I'm here with Ryan Falcone, the one and only Ryan Falcone. We've been, I don't know, what is it, 29? WrestleMania 29 was when the hangouts started.
WrestleMania 29, New Jersey.
Shout out to Ryan Falcone. Let's just start off like that. This is the famous T-Gog. We've gotta bring T-Gog in this. So, WrestleMania 29 is when I met this guy for the first time, and my recent trip to New York. We sat together at the amazing ROH show, Field of Honor, show of the year, I'd say.
Oh yeah, a great time.
So he's here today to talk about the Royal Rumble. You were there live? How were your seats?
Good. I was 100 level section. Probably like maybe like 5 or 6 rows back. Yeah, like 5 or 6 rows back. Yeah, and I had a great time. I mean, regardless of the Rumble match itself, you can't not have a great time at a pay-per-view. You know what I mean? It's like regardless of the wrestling, it's still fun.
And who'd you go with?
Pops.
You went with his dad. His dad's an avid wrestling fan, a very educated wrestling fan, I'd say. He kept up a conversation with me, which I was very surprised with.
He enjoys it. He loves it. So I can't complain. It's fun to be able to go with someone that enjoys it.
Oh yeah. So like when you walked into the building, like how was the atmosphere going in? Like the buzz?
Yeah. It's interesting. As soon as I got out of the car, I made a comment to my dad that I'd been in the same building a couple months back for the 15th anniversary of SmackDown taping or whatever, and it was all kids. That was the first thing I realized when I went to the SmackDown tapings, that it was so many kids. And when I pulled up to the Rumble and we got out, it was nothing but adults, all adults.
Yeah.
Everyone in the parking lot, they were all tailgating, drinking beer, playing beer pong, like literally in the parking lot. Like everyone's wasted already.
Right.
It's like 6 o'clock.
WrestleMania 29 was like that too at MetLife. There was people like playing. It was like almost like a tailgate outside before the show started.
Yeah, and it blew my mind, and I made sure I said something to my dad. I'm like, I'm surprised because there's nothing but adults here. I didn't see a single kid until we walked around the entire building. We went inside and got food, and I didn't see any kids under the age of probably like 15 until I actually went to my seats. Like it was all adults.
So it was like you can tell it was already like a smart mark crowd just from the beginning.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You could tell everyone's wasted. Like you could tell that it was going to be that Philadelphia like wrestling.
Was the place sold out legit, or was there a lot of empty seats around?
No, there was not a single empty seat. That place was packed.
So what was the dark match? The opening match was the Cesaro Tyson Kidd.
Cesaro Tyson Kidd versus the New Day. It's funny, the New Day was so like incredibly not over in this building. Like people hated the New Day, like everybody. There was a guy maybe 5 rows back from me that he didn't hate anything else on this show more than he hated the New Day. It blew my mind. He's like, these guys suck. They're ruining the WWE. Like this guy was like, it literally pissed him off that much that the New Day existed. Cesaro was incredibly over.
Pretty much from the opening match to the championship match, whatever happened in between, what sticks out to you the most?
The New Age Outlaws were over. No one cared about the Divas. No one cared about the Ascension.
It was an old school crowd, right? They could have brought out everyone from like the 90s or 80s, and they would have been over like crazy.
Absolutely. Like I said, you could tell it was a very smart wrestling crowd. Cesaro was incredibly over. People liked Tyson Kidd, but they wanted Cesaro. When Cesaro tagged in, the place went nuts. He was one of the most over people on the show, like no doubt.
Really?
Yeah,
wow.
Absolutely.
And then let's talk about the championship match.
I will say something about like the crowd in general.
Oh, okay, yeah. It's all yours, buddy. Floor's all yours.
I want to let you know because I really want to let people know is that like this crowd had a plan like from the beginning. Like, if you listen to like the Wrestling Observer and stuff and like the other radio stick shows, they seem to think that the people only got mad at this show because Daniel Bryan got eliminated. But like during the opening video package, like Roman Reigns got booed.
I heard that, yeah.
Not just like a little boo, like he got booed.
You got heat.
And I'm talking to my section, and everyone in my section is like, I hate Roman Reigns. Like he's not ready yet. Like I'm booing him. Like he was getting booed regardless.
Really?
Like, no matter who was in there, Roman Reigns was getting booed. So that's like, I'm just talking about like that opening video package that they showed. He got his ass booed out of the building. So I was like, the championship match. Literally, probably the best match I've like
live.
I've never had more fun live during a wrestling match before than during this 3-way. The whole crowd was into it. Brock is amazing. Brock is literally the greatest.
Oh yeah, the big dude.
He's just so awesome at everything he does, and he gets a crowd. This crowd loved Brock Lesnar, and there was talk before, like the match, whether Seth would cash in and win, or someone else would walk out with the title. They made the right decision that night for Brock to retain because he was so over. They made him look like he's like no other wrestler. That's what makes him so awesome, is that he's so different.
Yeah.
And the match was amazing. Everyone worked their ass off. Rollins doing the Phoenix Splash was sick.
How was Rollins? How was his fan reception? Were people booing him or were they?
No, he was over. He was? People were cheering Brock the most. Rollins not too far behind Brock, but Cena got completely shattered.
So talk about the Rumble then. What do you got?
People were going to be really into it, and then they started it with Miz and R-Truth. And it kind of hurt it a little bit because everyone was just kind of confused. Like they didn't know what the plan was, why they would start with Miz and R-Truth. Then Bubba Ray came out, and everyone went wild.
Yeah.
Like, they understood now because Bubba Ray and R-Truth did all of
the Dudley stuff.
The Dudley Boy spots. And that's why they started a We Want Devon chant too during Bubba Ray.
Did you notice they didn't do the what's up thing? Like he just kind of jumped. He didn't actually go
I was like that because I thought that was the whole joke.
Yeah.
Truth's what's up, and then they were gonna do the what's up with the headbutt.
Yeah.
I was like, why? I think Truth fucked up.
Maybe.
Bryan came out. Everyone went insane, crazy, biggest pop of the night, and he went off on everybody, and people loved it. Like I said, it was ridiculous how much people loved it.
Oh yeah, I was watching in the theater, and you can tell there was an energy when as soon as he came out, that energy was in. People were into what's going on, and then every kick, every punch, it was like yes, 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 and then
when Bryan got eliminated, it wasn't an immediate boo. It was everyone was standing the whole time, and everyone just kind of gasped. It was a very because people were shocked. No one expected Bryan to get thrown out that quickly. So it took a second because everybody didn't know what to do. Because they were just so shocked that he got thrown out. And then
hold on, stop there before you do that. What was your reaction?
Same thing. I stood there and I just looked, and my dad looked at me and he was like, "Did that really just happen?" I was like, "He just got eliminated." And everybody, the guy next to me, everyone just kind of shrugged at first because they didn't know. They were just they were pissed. People were pissed, and they're just so shocked that Bryan got thrown out. And just like me, that I didn't know what to do. I didn't know whether we should immediately boo or what they were doing. And then they showed him on the big screen, his face. Just, screaming. So that I thought that would start some sort of angle or something of him getting failing or something. I didn't know what that was because they put a lot of emphasis on him. And it was a shock. What they didn't know. I didn't know at first.
It's you're wearing the shirt, eat, sleep, break the streak, and it's same thing happened with Conqueror, whatever. He when that happened, it was the same thing. I'm sure everyone's seen the video. Everyone just gasped. And it was then you just heard silence, and then it was it took a while for everything to register. And
the minute where it clicked was when Goldust came out, and everyone was back to wrestling and fighting each other, and it clicked, and everyone was okay, this is what we're doing. And I think at that moment people realized Roman Reigns.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Because that was it. It was either if it wasn't Bryan, it was going to be Roman. And that's when the booze just took over.
Oh, yeah.
Daniel Bryan chants for a while, just nothing. I lost my voice then.
Did you? From booing so much?
Yeah. I never got that emotionally invested in the show live before booing, and I've never booed so hard before too. And I was just waiting. I was just talking to the guy next to me. I'm I just want to roll out right now because I wanted to see what was going to happen. I wanted to boo. I also just really wanted to boo him. And like I said, so then 3 entrants later, I think, or 19, number 19. And also, it didn't help that they sent out Ambrose. So Roman comes out, and it's funny. There's a girl right behind me that popped so hard for Roman Reigns, and my whole row and the rest of our section turn around and look at it and just start booing like vociferously, like just ridiculous boos. That girl for the rest of the night did not pop for Roman Reigns a single more time because our section was booing Roman so hard.
Really?
It's like there were people there that liked Roman Reigns. That's the thing. There were people there that didn't like Roman Reigns, but because the majority of the crowd was booing him,
you couldn't hear it. There was a pop when he won, though. You gotta admit that when he threw Rusev over, you heard like, "Oh yeah!" You saw cheering. You saw a couple of guys in the front row with their Roman Reigns shirts on, like they were jumping up and down. But when the music played, you heard the boos more than you heard the cheers.
Also, that people that were Roman Reigns fans, I think, didn't want to cheer him because they didn't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
I think it's they have the John Cena effect, where the people that actually do like John Cena don't want to cheer him just because they want to be the people that boo him. But a lot of the crowd hated Roman as soon as he came out. You can hear it. As soon as he came out, the crowd did not like Roman Reigns. And when he got in there and started beating people up, just nothing but boos and boos and boos. And at that point, people are just pissed at everything. So no matter who they send out, they're going to get booed. So sending out Big E right after it didn't help because this crowd hated the New Day. So like they send Big E out and he gets I rewatched that too. It's just like he got booed so heavy. I like poor Big E, man. I like Big E. Yeah. It was just like I personally I booed every single thing that happened. Besides Ambrose, Cesaro,
Ziggler and The Rock.
Everybody else that got sent out, regardless if I liked them, regardless if they were a babyface, a heel, no matter what they were, I didn't care if I was a fan of them. If they got sent out, I booed the shit out of them for nonstop, just because I wanted to like take over the show. I wanted it to be a thing where I was like, look,
you went in for business for yourself, pal. You went into business for yourself.
It wasn't good news that it wasn't just me, my whole section.
Yeah.
It's the whole crowd. It's just because we want to show WWE, whether it's working or not, that like we don't want this guy in the main event of WrestleMania, and that was a big deal. It was crazy. It was the craziest thing I've ever experienced in my life. People were expecting Randy Orton. People were expecting Rob Van Dam. They were expecting Chris Jericho, and even though I don't think it really would make a difference, they probably would have booed him too. They were expecting Sheamus. So like when none of those people came out, it was a huge disappointment because I don't know if you listened to Jericho talk to Meltzer. By the time Cesaro came out, I was at 28, I think.
29 was Big Show, 30. The 27 was Barrett.
Right.
So whatever it was, anyway, it doesn't matter.
So when Barrett came out at 27, we know now that Cesaro, Big Show, and Ziggler have to be the three guys. So now the crowd is saying, we're not getting Orton, we're not getting Jericho, we're not getting RVD, we're not getting The Rock. Because there was a large portion of the crowd that thought Rock was going to
be I was one of those people. I was like, man, like, number 30, like that'd be like one of those moments, kind of, that guy could have seen it, yeah.
I was like, okay, it's all going to be worth it as long as The Rock comes out into the Rumble and faces Brock at WrestleMania. It'll be worth it. That's what I'm thinking the whole time. I'll do the rest of it until The Rock comes out. But then by the time Barrett comes out, I'm like, okay, so now we got Barrett, Cesaro, Ziggler, and Big Show. And now, not only am I not getting Rock, I'm not getting any of those other guys that predicted were going to be out. So I'm just like, okay, this is stupid. I know none of these guys are going to win. I know Reigns is going to win. And I think a lot of the crowd felt that too. And that was, like I said, the pop for Ambrose should have been much bigger. The pop for Ziggler was big, but should have been much bigger. It's just because, like I said, we already knew the result. And having Kane and Big Show destroy everybody helped.
Such a buzzkill. Oh man, I was sitting there and I'm like, I was ready to leave. Like before the Rumble was even like, maybe by 2025 maybe. I was just like, I was falling asleep honestly. And the way they were tossing guys out, it's so undramatic. Just like, okay, let's get this over with now. And Kane has Shawn Michaels' record. I know the record doesn't mean anything, but it's like, you got Kane.
He's going to be in Rumbles for years to come. So the record is going to get broken eventually.
It would have been funny. I think it was Alvarez who was saying he should always like have one more elimination left, and he tries every single year. He never gets it. Describe what happened with The Rock when The Rock.
Honestly, the pop for The Rock on TV looked huge. It really should have been so much bigger because it got to the point where the crowd was so drained of life and just so pissed of what had happened, where The Rock couldn't even save that show. That was, and I barely popped for The Rock. I know my section barely popped for The Rock, and they were pissed. The people were pissed.
He comes out, does his thing. People are still booing. Rock does his thing. Roman Reigns throws Rusev out. And there was a "We Want Rusev" chant too, which was funny. And then describe. So now people are booing Reigns, right? Reigns won everything. Fireworks kind of miscue on the fireworks and everything. And then describe leaving the building where people were like.
If you've been to a WWE show, once it goes off the air, the announcer will be like, "Thanks for joining Philadelphia. Like, have a good night," or whatever. The people are still doing walking out of the arena, like still chanting like bad things like F Reigns and stuff like that. By the way, when Reigns up on the turnbuckle doing this thing, everyone's flipping him off.
I saw that.
The entire crowd is flipping the guy off.
Yeah.
My dad's dying laughing. Like they really hate that. Yeah, I mean, he was like so surprised because he watches it, and I told him that people were gonna hate him. And he's like, "I'm sure they're not gonna like him," but he was surprised. He's like, "Oh my god, like these people hate him." Like it blew his mind. So everyone's flipping him off. They do the pyro or whatever. He walks out. It goes off the air, and people walking out of the building are pissed. They're still booing him, and everyone's chanting like Daniel Bryan, walking out of the building chanting Daniel Bryan and booing, walking out of Philadelphia. And there are reports that they like blocked wrestlers.
I was gonna ask you about that if you know anything.
I didn't see any of that personally, so I can't confirm that. But I wouldn't be surprised because these people.
I was reading like the reports where it's like a guy would take the chair that you got from sitting on the floor seats and he would put it right in the middle, and then he started banging his chair on the Usos' car, and then they got out and they started, "Yo, you wanna go? Say no wrestling, man."
That sounds kind of like overdramatic, or that might not be true. But man, these people were legitimately pissed that night. Like I was expecting a riot. I never felt that kind of emotion out of a wrestling crowd. I've been to a lot of shows. I've been to WrestleManias. I've been to a lot of shows. I've never felt such strong emotion out of a wrestling crowd before in my life than I felt that night.
If you were a guy who was on the fence about going to Wrestle, I think you were, right? Aren't you on the fence about WrestleMania? Does this make you want to go or not go? No?
I have no interest in much. It'll be cool to see Sting wrestle, I guess, in WWE. Yeah, but besides that, I don't have any interest in any other planned match. Cena Rusev is cool as a big hard match as long as there's other good matches surrounding it. Orton Rollins, I mean, it'll probably be a pretty solid like Raw match that I'll never want to watch again. What else is on the card?
Cena
Rusev. Undertaker, Bray Wyatt.
I don't think so.
No interest in that. If that happens, I don't want to see that. Why am I going to spend all the money to go out to California for that show? And I have no interest in Brock and Roman unless they put Brock over. If they put Brock over, that'd be the greatest thing in the world. Like
probably won't happen, but I understand.
But like, I have no interest in it on WrestleMania, so I'll see you guys in Dallas.
Fair enough. Well, it's been a slight. It was good. This has been a nice little interview. Thanks for the inside tip. I see all these questions I wanted to ask you, but I'm like, we might as well just ask on the video, and they'll like get all, because you hear so many stories about like news reports, but I never actually talked to someone who was there. I watched the Lorenzo brothers. They did their day in the life video, and they started filming, with the 5-second the countdown clock. So you hear the boos every time, and you knew that the crowd wasn't into it, and that's why I was asking, because Ambrose's pop was pretty loud on their video, but you said it could have been a lot kind of lackluster. Shout out to Ryan Falcone. Thanks for this. Good guy.
Twitter, bro.
All right. You want to plug your Twitter if you want? @Ryan Falcone.
@Ryan Falcone.
Shout out to.
Shout out to me, Ryan Falco.
All right.
T-God.
T-Gog. Spacebound.
Yeah, Spacebound from them. I don't know when that mixtape dropped.
Okay. See you later, buddy.